trying to copy and paste the service list and
Oh,
it's going one
oh
line at a time.
oh, no.
And usually it goes all the way to the end. And I'm like, okay, guess we're not putting the appearances in this time. I mean, before the hearing.
Uh-huh. We'll get the live stream going. So about 2 minutes or so, we'll get started.
I didn't realize that was going.
I just started it, but that's okay.
Okay.
Yeah. And just waiting for one party, I think. Well, oops. So is it Caitlin and Will together on screen? Okay, I'm just gonna put your names in there.
You're on mute, sir.
Oh, are we still? 1 second.
Oh, now I heard you.
Yeah, we heard you now.
Okay. We were on mute at the start.
Yeah, the system mutes everyone when they join, so you may have not expected that. Someone calling in. That's interesting. Okay, well, we're gonna get started in just a minute or so for the we're calling the Elm Road Racine Transmission Line Project pre-hearing conference, and we have someone joining us by phone, and the public, if they can't connect to the live stream, are free to listen in using the telephone connection. I'm just wondering, I can't tell who you are, so if you are a party connected to the case, can you let me know?
Yes, Joseph Janicek, 8437 Foley Road.
Okay, so kind of unexpected here. So you are not a party at this point. Are you here to observe the pre-hearing conference?
No, you want to put the line right through my yard, 20 feet from my house, the
Okay, so
main line.
you're a landowner along the line. Okay.
I'm with the main line, and the power line runs right on the other side of my fence line, which is all power plant owned, company owned land. But the proposed site for your main site, hopefully you're going to use the other site, the other way, the other site that you could use. But the other one goes 20 feet. I have 9 acres, and it goes 20 feet from my pond and 20 feet from my house.
So
With
excuse me, sir. So let
345,000
me get your name first, please. Have you stated?
maybe I can do it if I can try it. If I can do it Zoom, but it's Joseph Janicek, Janicek,
Oh, you got to
84.
slow down for me there. What's
I'm
your last
sorry,
name? Yeah, that's okay.
Janicek, Janicek.
EK. Okay, great. And
My address is 8437 Foley Road, Foley.
Fowler, Foler. Okay.
No, Foley,
Foley,
Foley.
Y. Okay. And where is that at exactly?
That's in Caledonia.
Caledonia.
I'm
Okay.
just 2 miles from the probably a mile and a half for a power plant.
Okay. So what we're gonna do,
I
we're gonna
mean,
get. Oh yeah, go ahead.
I was going to ask if I can. I think I have Zoom. What do I just do? Just put in that DD number or what? 809 or something.
Yeah,
Or,
you would have to reconnect using the link that's on the notice
I don't
of
know. Is
hearing
there any
conference.
visual? Is there any visual we're going to see, or can I just listen and fine? I just need to know if this is above ground, below ground,
Okay.
or what the idea is. with,
Okay.
being close to other places.
So what we're doing here today is it's a pre-hearing conference. So we're setting up the case, the schedule and the issues for the parties in the case. And I'm going to go over this, what it means to be a party in the case and what it means to be a member of the public that participates in the case. I would like you to listen along, and then
Right.
what you can do is decide whether you do wish to become a party in the case or you wish to participate as a member of the public. You have those two options.
No, I am a party in this case.
No.
This is going
Sir,
20 feet.
that's not correct. Let me explain. I will explain the
All right.
difference, and I want you to understand it. So you're going to need to listen in, and I'll explain
I'm
the
sorry.
difference. But now,
I'm
what I
sorry.
want you to do is listen in, and then if you do decide to become a party, you'll need to file a request. So I'm going to show, we're going to go over the process. I'll show you what that is, but you'll not be able to see it. But I'm going to put you in contact with our attorneys for the commission, and they can help you with that process if you decide to choose to go that route. But at this point, we have a list of people who have already filed a request to intervene, and those are the people who will be participating today to decide the issues in the schedule. So once that's decided, if you choose to intervene, you can do so. But at this point, I don't have you on our list to participate today. So I'm going to ask you to do is listen in, and I can give you. I'm going to give.
Can you put me on the list or what?
I cannot do that right now, but what I can do is I can give you the information for people who can help you file a request. So we have Sophia Rogers is the attorney assigned to the case for the Public Service Commission.
I
And
just got this big packet in the mail about a week ago.
Okay, well, I
Is
don't
it
know
out there or
about that,
not?
but let me say that if you do wish to intervene, there's a process for doing so. So I would contact Sophia, and her email is sophia.rogers1, the number 1, at wisconsin.gov. So she can help
Is
you
there
with it.
any
Yes.
is there any way possible that you could text that to me or email it? I'll give you my email.
Sure, you can
Is
give
there
me
any
your
way to
email. Yeah.
JM Janice, thank you for being so helpful too. JMJANICEK numeral 600
So 60, okay. Yeah,
JM Janice 616.
60 you said, right?
That's correct, sir.
We will get you the process for intervening if you wish to do that. But right now, what we're doing, you can feel free to stay on the line, listen into what I'm going to explain about
Thank
that
you.
process, and but I'll need to have you file a formal request before we can let you in as a party to the case. All right?
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
Can I just ask one question quick?
Well, you're
Is this
here, you
gonna
might as
be
well. Go ahead.
above ground or below ground?
Oh, I don't think there's a below ground option. That's not something that I'm expecting from this case. So I would
Okay.
assume it's I mean, I
just
haven't
have one
seen the
more quick
map
question.
on your exact location,
Okay.
but my if everything I know about these cases, it would be above ground. Yes.
Okay. One more question.
All right.
I've been through this process before with a thing called Foxconn in Mount Pleasant. That's how I ended up at this house here, because they eminent domain me, because they took 132 houses away because of Foxconn. The town of Mount Pleasant did. I don't know if you're aware of that in Wisconsin. You know, it's in Racine County also.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yep.
are they planning on eminent domaining these properties that are going to be affected, where they're going to be uninhabitable and they're going to lose all their property value? Or what is their process on this stuff?
For this case or for the Foxconn properties?
Yeah, no, Foxconn's done. I'm talking about right now, because I'm telling you, what if you look at the interaction map? I know you're not looking at it right now. I get you, but what I'm telling you is this goes. But I have the You know, the power line is that property next to my adjacent.
Yeah.
But the way the map shows, it's going to go through my fence line. I have a 1 acre pond, and then I have a
So
3,700 square foot
I'm
house.
sorry, sir. Let me just explain. So so the Public Service Commission is the commission has the authority to approve this project or not. And once that project is approved, then the developer, the ATC, would be contacting you about the property rights that they would have and that you would have in that situation, and what, if any, compensation there'd be. But it's the Public Service Commission doesn't deal directly with landowner compensation for
Okay,
project
I
location.
appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why
Okay.
I might have to get a lawyer and fight this, but I
Well,
won't bug you
that's
no more.
possible. So what I'm going to ask you to do is just I'm gonna put you on mute and have you listen in, and then
Yeah.
when we're done, we'll get information to you about the process of intervening.
All right, thank you so much, sir. You've
All
been
right.
very helpful.
Okay, thank you. Okay, well, I'm glad I asked about our caller, but it looks like we have all the parties who have intervened in the case online. So let's get started on the record. And we have the notice of hearing up here. So this is docket 137 CE 215, case we're calling the Elm Road-Racine transmission line project. My name is Michael Newmark, the administrative law judge for the PSC, and we're here on Zoom for the pre-hearing conference. So we have in attendance the interveners in the case and the applicant, commission staff connected with us. We are live streaming, and we've made the Zoom connection, the phone connection available for members of the public to listen in if they can't join the live stream. And what we do with pre-hearing conferences, we identify the parties, the issues, and the schedule in the case, and we review the facilitating matters in the case that's applicable to the parties. I also want to review differences between the party process and the public comment process, so everyone's clear on the distinction. And that's probably about it. And then we will, like we said before, we will be getting information to Mr. Yanisik for the potential intervention we discussed off the record here. So let's get started with our identifying the current parties and people who have intervened. It's people that are on our service list. So first we have ATC right off the bat. Who do we have representing ATC today?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. This is David Zappa with Hush Blackwell on behalf of ATC.
All right, thanks. Citizens Utility Board.
Good morning, Your Honor, or good afternoon, rather. Daniel Narvi for Citizens Utility Board.
Okay, so Myers Forsyth, I put you as one party, so you're designated with both your last names. I know you're both involved, but if we could just have you give your appearances today. And you're still muted somehow. That's
Nope.
There we go. I hear you now.
Right. Good afternoon, Your Honor. Will Myers.
And Caitlin Forsyth.
All right, great, thanks. So just we have to kind of bend the rules a little just so that I have you both listed individually, but for purposes of the service list and for you both to be receiving and sending documents with your unique email addresses, but we're going to treat you as one party. So in terms of when I say, parties need to do this and need to do that, it's both of you together. But we do have you listed individually because you have separate emails, and you'll both be participating. I'm assuming you'll both be participating, alongside each other. So, and then Public Service Commission, who do we have representing the PSC?
Sophia Rogers, Assistant General Counsel with the Public Service Commission, and with me is my colleague Michael Garcia.
All right, great. Thanks, everyone. So service list is the first kind of major checkoff for our process. So we use the service list to serve documents to each other, and the commission will use it for official filings and communications with the parties. So, for example, the final decision will be issued to the emails on the service list. When parties and staff are sending documents to each other, they'll be using this list. So make sure that so I should just mention that our intention is that the list is complete and accurate. Hopefully it is right now, and if it does change, the document we have attached to the notice of pre-hearing conference, the facilitating matters document, does require that parties and staff keep each other informed about changes to the list and file a request with me to make a change to the list so we keep it updated. So that's just one of those little details that mean a lot in our process. So let's move on to what we have so far is the participants, which include ATC, Citizens Utility Board, and Myers Forsyth as parties. There were no objections to those parties, so we're naming them parties here. I don't recall if I had issued an order on that or not before, but we'll just clean it up here now. But those are the parties to the case so far. There is a process for members of the public or people to request intervention after the deadline, which is already passed. So it's an intervention out of time. There's a process for doing so, and so anyone else who would be requesting to become a party would need to file under that process. And in terms of commission staff, we grouped together commission staff and sister agencies that are working on the case. PSC, DATCAP, and DNR will all be expected. Well, you'll expect filings, evidentiary filings from all three agencies in this case, just so everyone knows. Issues. We have the proposed issues list. I guess I think I had communicated with Attorney Rogers that there were no objections to that proposed issue. Just confirming any comments or objections to the issue as it's stated here. No? Okay. And the schedule, and I'm displaying this all on the screen share, so it'll be on the YouTube recording. So this is the proposed schedule, and it looked like, as far as I knew, there were no objections or complaints about what we have proposed as the schedule. Is that correct? Okay. Everyone's nodding or being quiet, so that's good. So I did want to mention that what we have proposed here is the party session to be Zoom only, and the public session. So for the parties, we basically meet like this. So it seemed like everyone was agreeing to that. Public session, of course, we will be holding a live public session in the project area, and there'll be a Zoom connection in the room so people can join by Zoom as well. So just so you're clear, everyone's clear about that. It'll be approximately around the same time frame as the party session, so mid-April, and it'll be in the project area. I guess I was having some trouble locating locations for the public session. I did find Ember Lodge and Roma Lodge. I don't know if those, they seem to be big enough and close enough to the project area to suffice meeting our requirements, but if anyone has other ideas, I'd be willing to entertain those. I haven't contacted them yet, so I don't know what their availability is, but those are the ideas so far. Then we have the other facilitating matters. So any questions about the schedule? And we'll go over the process a little bit more, but just in terms of the dates and times. Next step is just review the facilitating matters. So this document that's attached, you'll be seeing us referring to this document as the FMO, facilitating matters ordered. I don't know, just seems to be the short way of referencing it. And it's helpful to all of us. This is a fairly new document, so it may be new to most of you, but I think some of you have been dealing with it so far. But in terms of Myers Forsyth, I know you haven't seen this before, you haven't used this before, so the overall idea here is to provide due process for all the parties by having standardized procedures. And sort of the basic purpose is that if the commissioners are reading the record in the case in order to make a decision, and this is the format of the record that they are used to seeing. So that's my job is to create the record, and using these requirements standardizes it for the commission, so they're able to meet a record and know what to expect, and they're familiar with the formatting and the processing of the documents, the evidence that they need to use. So that's helpful for everyone. What we want to look into is just some pitfalls that normally we see having people having problems with complying. And I think this usually isn't a big issue, but just in terms of filing and service, you want to use those emails that we have on the service list. An important item is so the ERF system that we have, this electronic regulatory filing system, is where you'd be filing documents. So they require you type in a document description and choose a document type. So we did list here some of the common types that you'll need to be familiar with. So the idea is to please, use the ones that are applicable to the document. The description as well. There's a standard format for descriptions and some of the documents that we're expecting you to file. It seems picky, but using the standard conventions in naming documents helps out a lot, because then we don't have to correct those those filings. So these descriptions are what we require in order to sort documents and keep track of them. Having the names and the filings meet the standard helps immensely. So otherwise we're recreating it, we're having you refile, or I'm changing things internally in the system. It causes a lot more time and effort. So there should be pretty explicit ways of how to name documents. So I'd appreciate everyone just reviewing that and double checking before they file to make sure they've met those requirements. If you go to the back of the document, you'll actually see templates. Well, first there's tables that actually give you an example of what these names should look like, what the names should look like, what the page numbers should look like, all of the details. Really, you just need to use that as your guide and follow it, and you should be good to go. But even after that, there's a section where we have appendices with actual templates that you can use that will cover most of these pitfall problems. So how to name your testimony. It gives you the directions at the bottom of the page exactly where the page number should go. So hopefully you're able to follow along. If not, feel free to contact us about questions. The version you have is a PDF, which I understand is not going to be very useful when you're trying to use it if you're using it to fill in your information. So we can get people a Word version of these documents if you'd like. Just let us know about that, and we'll get you the Word version, so you'll have a document you can modify. And then once you see this format, you can basically just insert your information. Templates aren't meant to limit people at all. It's just a suggestion. And the idea is if you use this format, you'll pretty much be okay with the standards, filing standards. It's not meant to direct, what you need to put in your testimony, what you need to say in your testimony. Although I will say that this one page where it asks you what exhibits you're sponsoring and just has you list them, that's very helpful. So you're not required to do that, but it is very helpful when you're writing your testimony just to list out the documents you're offering in that list, so we can just cross-check and make sure we got them all when you filed the exhibits. Otherwise, yeah, there's a lot of details. Just pay attention to that, and just ask us if you have any questions. You can contact the assigned attorneys. They're your first point of contact for questions. Otherwise, I did want to discuss a little bit about the difference between the party and the public session, participating as a party and participating as a member of the public. And mostly, I don't want to waste a lot of everyone's time, but I'll try to. I do want to get this out in an official version of the in the docket and on the YouTube recording for people who may want to reference it. Important thing for parties to know in terms of the public comment process, parties' participation is very limited. I do ask the applicants to be present in the public hearings in case the public has questions. The public hearing isn't a question and answer session, but I do allow members of the public who have questions to approach the applicant, and they go off outside of the room and they can get their questions answered. They can also, members of the public can also ask questions of commission staff that are at the hearing. And once that member of the public gets their questions answered, they can come and give me a comment at the hearing, or they can file a written comment. But it's important that people get the chance to ask a question, and then when they have the answer, they're better informed to make their comment once they're better informed. So you will see the applicant at the party hearing. But in terms of the other intervener, the intervener participation's fairly limited. I describe it as the interveners may promote the hearing, may promote the public comment process, but they can't participate directly in it. So, for example, we had a hearing recently where a party had asked to host the public hearing, and I declined that offer because that's mixing the two too much. So parties can't be the host of the public hearing session. Parties shouldn't be soliciting comments and filing them on other people's behalf. But parties may advertise the public comment process and provide the ways in which the commission approves the public to participate. So basically, sharing the notice of hearing is the way to do that most effectively. So just to let you know right away, there are limits to the parties' participation in the public comment process. Now, the public process is fairly open, and we encourage the public to give their opinion about the project. The comments that the commissioners will read are the comments that are solicited from the time the notice of hearing issues and the deadline that's in that notice. So there are other public comment periods that we use for the staff to review the environmental impacts of the case, and those are before. So for the EA, for example, there's a public comment process. Staff uses those comments to write the EA or the preliminary determination letter, and those comments are used for that purpose. Then we have a separate and subsequent public comment process that's initiated by the notice of hearing, where I'm collecting those comments and I'm providing those comments to the commissioners to read as part of the record. So in case people are listening, or you want to explain this to other people, that's the public comment process that the commissioners will be involved in. And the notice of hearing will be issued at least 30 days before the hearing begins, before the date of the hearing. And those are going to be mailed to the landowner list that we have on file, as well as published in the newspaper that's in the project area and put on our website. So there's several ways that we're going to inform the public about when the public comment process starts, but it does not start until the notice goes out. But people will get that mailing if they're on the landowner mailing list. They'll get that letter. They'll get the notice mailed to them. Also, I think if you have an email on file, you'll get it emailed. I think that's my understanding of the process. So you'll get an email or a letter. Okay, so other things to review just briefly. I know you've all at least filed the request to intervene, but we do have just wanted to show you the case management system. So the link on the notice of pre-hearing conference does get you to the case management system for this case. except it wants me to, thinks I'm a robot. I don't know why it does that. Okay. Okay, there we go. So that link will bring you here. And you can see that the documents, I'm just going to expand my screen here. There we go. Sound of relief. Okay. So just this a little bit more. So you'll see on the case management system for the docket, there's documents tab that'll list all the documents filed in the case, and you'll see your testimony and exhibits will be presented there. But here's an important note here that you can view the up-to-date service list by clicking this export active service list. So if you're in CMS in the docket, downloads it to an Excel spreadsheet, unfortunately, but at least you'll get the up-to-date listing. So that's what it looks like here. You'll see us all there. So so right now we have the current list. If anything changes, you're able to get updates this way. And when I issue something new to the service list, or if staff issues something to the service list, it'll be on our IRF system. So you can see that the latest one would be the one on top. So like this one. So that's what the list would look like on IRF. And then other items about participating as a party. So another thing to note is that, so like I said, the parties do not participate in the public comment process. Important thing is that you can't provide a comment for the record for that notice of during the notice of hearing period, or come to the public hearing and give a comment. You can attend the public hearing, but not participate. And then so what the responsibilities of parties, of course, is to get your testimony in on time in writing. So according to our deadlines and in the format we require, but also you're now a witness in the case and would be subject to cross-examination from the other parties and commission staff. So that's something to consider. I'm sure you've all considered people who have intervened right now, but I do want to just review this briefly. So witnesses will be subject to cross-examination at the party session and subject to discovery. So there's, the civil process of discovery applies here. So questions about your background and how it relates to the case, and questions about your testimony, asking you for documents. That's all the rights of a party to require you to participate in if you're also a party. So those are the sort of the ground rules for that. Otherwise, if a person does wish to express their opinion on the case, or wishes to, they have a general opinion, or they have a specific issue, a specific problem with the project and how it impacts them, the other effective way to participate is as a member of the public, and you'll have an opportunity to present your opinion, your comment to the commission. It's also, the members of the public do have an opportunity to contact staff and to ask about and to inform staff about particular issues as as the project impacts their property. And it has happened where staff can reach out to the applicant and may possibly work out an alternative, but there's no guarantee there. And but of course, becoming a party, putting your issues front and center to the commission's another opportunity to do that. So those are the sort of the pros and cons about that. So otherwise, I don't know if I have much more to review here. And I can ask if there's any questions about what I've said or anything else. So go ahead, you guys. No? I'm assuming for the Myers Forsyth, you won't be represented by an attorney. Is that correct, or do you have any plans to?
At this time, for our purposes, we will be.
I'm sorry, sir. Can you speak a little louder?
Oh, sorry. I think there's something weird going on with my microphone. No, at this time, for our purposes, we will be representing ourselves.
Okay, that's fine. All right. And so anything else we need to review? No? Okay, just maybe do a lot of talking. That's okay.
Your Honor, I do have one question. So
Yeah, go
in
ahead.
this document, you have a very detailed
Yes.
schedule of events going on where certain reviews, briefs happen.
Yes.
What is the standard, well, heads up, if you will, if one of these times is amended? Is it like a 2-week notice, 3-week?
So there is no standard for changing the dates. First of all, I'd need to receive a request to do that. And actually, without going into it, it would be let's review that because that may be useful. Let's do this off the record, give our fingers a break here, not mine, but the court reporter's fingers a break. Yeah, this version doesn't have bookmarks, unfortunately, but so there is a process for making a request, and I think that's a good touchstone for everyone because it's slightly different than it used to be. So actually, let's start off with the table of contents. So request for an ALJ order, section 5, and modifying the schedule would be one request that would have to be made officially first, and that's to protect everyone. So basically, you would know if someone's even proposing a change to a date, you would get a notice of that. You get the request would be filed and served. Sorry, it's getting to the bottom here. Okay. Section 6, not 5. Okay. Oh, that's communication. Sorry. Okay, we go. Yes, here we are. Okay, request for ALJ order. So, so it gives you instructions about filing, and there's going to be 3 types of filings when there's a request. There's a request, a response, and a reply. So that's all laid out here. We try to just detail this all as best we can. So request, basically facts and legal basis, argument for making the request. Response is, people's what they want to say in response, and reply is the requester gets to make the final statement there. But one of the requests is, and this is just suggested types of requests. It's not an exclusive list, but it's what we normally see. So one of them is request to modify the schedule, and that would be changing the date, basically. I think most likely you'd see it then. So all requests need to be filed unless timely made at a hearing, which would be when we get to the party session. If there was no opportunity to file a request, you could make that request at the hearing. So, supposedly say someone wants to offer a new piece of testimony during the hearing, there'd be a request to do that. I don't think it would really be very formal, but it would be verbally made. There would be no chance to file that. So, talks about how to format that and all these details about how you would file a request and respond to a request. But What's important is that so that's where the first kickoff would be you'd get the request first. Then we'd have to kind of when it's a request to modify the schedule, that gets a little tricky because all of these dates cascade. So there would have to be probably some proposal about the subsequent dates as well in order for it to work. But so that's something to consider in that particular type of request. But I would expect, hopefully, there would be no request like that. It's fairly rare. There may also be a request to, if there's a well, let me say one plus of our process is that if the requester just gets everyone to agree to their request before they file, if you just state that in the request, it just goes into effect. So, for example, if like you need another day to file your testimony, you could reach out to the other parties and say, hey, I need another day. Do you agree? If everyone agrees, you file your request saying that everyone agrees, and then you're good to go. You're not filing late. You get the extra day. And maybe that they agree, but they want an extra day for the next round of testimony. Put that all in the request, and that should be okay if everyone's agreeing. It just gets more complicated where if it's more time or if people aren't agreeing, there becomes more of a problem. But that's just by way of example. So, so if you file a request where everyone agrees, it goes into effect immediately. If you file a request without getting agreement and without stating everyone does affirmatively agree, then we wait until the response period is over. And if no one responds, the request goes into effect. So it's just by default, it goes into effect. But even if that happens, I can still claw it back. If I don't agree with the result, I can claw it back and modify or suspend the request. And then there'll be more process on whether their request gets approved or not. So that's just sort of a backup. But if everyone's agreeing, something like changing the schedule, that's probably not a big deal. But just so you know, so the long answer to your question is you're going to know if someone's requesting a change to the schedule before it happens. Can't imagine if even if staff needed to change the request, the schedule would still need to be requested. So I think we're pretty safe with keeping the schedule as it is and going through that modification process. So I hope that answered your question.
It does. Thank you.
Anything else? No? All right. Well, I will, so what you'll see in the near future is a pre-hearing conference memo will be issued. I'll basically take the notice of pre-hearing conference and just transfer that in a different format. It'll be titled the pre-hearing conference memorandum. But basically it'll just contain the same information because nothing changed here. And that's kind of the official document of today, the order that will go out that memorializes the decisions we made here today. Otherwise, I think that's all we need to discuss. And yeah, so if there are any new parties that we need to address any new requests for intervention out of time, we'll expect to see that filed, and then we can process those and see what happens. Otherwise, I think we have everything else.
Do you want to go back on to go off?
Yeah, let's go back on. So yeah, we just discussed some more of the facilitating matters off the record and answered a few questions about proposing changes to the schedule, how that process would work. And at this point, I think we're ready to adjourn. Anything else we need to address before we adjourn? No? All right. Well, thanks very much. We're adjourned. Take care.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Your Honor.
I do have a question when you're done.
Let's turn this off. It's not. Okay.